This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 14th day of February in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Declaring the second Guyana International Energy Conference open this morning, President Irfan Ali used the forum to make it clear that the Guyana government has no interest in renegotiating the Stabroek Block production sharing agreement with the ExxonMobil company, despite the campaign promise to do so. Though most of the president's remarks focused on the environment and investment, he said the issue of renegotiating the current contract seems to not be going away. He told a large audience, which included visiting heads of government, that although the government views the current contract as lopsided, it must be respected for several reasons, part of which is for the security of investors. The president said that the government's decision not to renegotiate the contract is almost in the best interest of the country, noting that the consequences which may come from walking away from the existing contract could be dire.
Let us say we stop production tomorrow. We stop all the production tomorrow. What is the consequence? What is the exposure to the country? What is the exposure? All those who've invested in a part, and this is not only the big investors who took a loan, built apartments, new hotels going up. The man who had 3 taxis and invested in 200 taxis now. What is the exposure to them? And then what is the exposure to the financial institutions that finance investment based on projection? So what we did was say, we have something that was already signed, we agree, we're going to efficiently manage it to extract as much benefit as possible.
President Ali assured that all future agreements are going to be different. Already, the government has updated the production sharing agreement model, which would now see Guyana receiving a royalty rate of 10% instead of 2%. And while the 50-50 profit sharing aspect of the model will be maintained, the new model will include a corporation tax of 10%, while the maximum cost oil for any given year will be 65%. The president said the new terms and conditions are favorable to both the government and investors.
You cannot set terms and conditions that lock out investment, especially when we are going to an auction now. And that is what we have put to the table.
Mr. Ali also said the government is moving full speed ahead to develop the country's natural gas sector. He focused on the country's potential to not only become a regional leader in the field, but to also cater to domestic demands. He again assured that the cost of energy will be significantly reduced in the next 2 years. This year's International Energy Conference will wrap up on Friday. It is being held under the theme Harnessing Energy for Development. More news coming up in a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
Did you know that you can check your NIS contributions online? Simply visit our website at www.nis.org.gy. Click on the Create New Account button and enter the required information. An automatic email notification will be sent to acknowledge your application. Once your information is authenticated, you will receive an email within 48 hours with instructions on how to access the site. Once logged in, you can click on the My Contributions tab on the left side of the screen to view your contributions. For further information, you can call our records department on 225-2798 or visit your nearest NIS office.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Strong and solid in countries far and wide. New India Assurance, we're standing by your side. Golden service, half a century and more. New India Assurance, our policies are secure. From the heart of India, we serve these islands. The strength that you can trust, you're safe when you come to New India Assurance Company. Assurance when you need it most.
For your home, motor or business insurance, visit New India Guyana office, 58 Brickdam next to Star Computers. Telephone 226-0415-7. Comfortable parking available.
Guyana, bring out the entire family and let's celebrate our 53rd Republic anniversary as lots of beautiful, vibrant costumes make their way through Church Street into Irvin Street to the National Park.
We going on Irvin Street.
While you enjoy delicious food and drinks along the route. This Mash Day on Thursday the 23rd of February. Come out, let's mash together as one Guyana.
Mash.
Let's tell you now that indigenous leaders from across the country will start receiving checks tomorrow for the development of their various communities as the government begins the disbursement of funds from the sale of carbon credits. President Ali made the announcement today. Last December, the Guyana government and the Hess Corporation signed the RED Plus carbon credit purchase agreement, paving the way for the oil company to purchase carbon credits for a minimum of $750 million between 2022 and 2032 directly from the Guyana government. Of that amount, the government of Guyana has committed $112 million to hinterland communities for their development. President Ali said since the signing of the agreement with the Hess Corporation, there has been several pushbacks, and even now he claimed that indigenous leaders are being discouraged from collecting the money for their community development. The president said Guyana's vision for climate servicing is not new. He said though the country's credentials in climate change and the forest was known globally, he hinted that several transformational environmental projects were cut down by the previous administration, owing to the lack of commitment. He said the payment to the indigenous leaders marks an important milestone to the country's development and said that is demonstration that the opportunities that exist in the country's forestry sector are there. Guyana has so far received $75 million as its first payment for carbon credits under the agreement, with two further payments of $37.5 million each to be made this year. The carbon credit being sold to Hess Corporation represents only 30% of the carbon credits available to Guyana for the period 2016 to 2030. Well, moments after President Irfaan Ali announced that the indigenous leaders will start receiving payments from tomorrow for the sale of carbon credits, the opposition leader Aubrey Norton expressed his dissatisfaction with the amount of money that will be given to the indigenous communities. Of the $750 million that will be paid to the government over the next 10 years for carbon credits by the Hess Corporation, 15% will go towards the Amerindian communities.
The president was celebrating giving 9% of the money earned from carbon sales to the indigenous community. Again, that is ridiculous. The people who occupy the areas where there is a large forests, or where there are large forest covers, are the indigenous people. And there is need for them to be involved in the decision making and to get more.
The opposition leader said there is need for massive human and infrastructural development in the hinterland, and to give indigenous communities just a small portion of the earnings from the carbon sales would do them a great disservice.
Why would a president celebrate giving 9% of the total earnings to the indigenous people when they are probably the most impoverished section of our society and should be given more? So again, I found that to be just idle talk rather than seeking to deal with the issues at hand.
Additionally, Mr. Norton dismissed the president's opening remarks at the energy conference as nothing more than idle talk.
I found that the fundamental thing that was missing from this oil and gas conference is how is it that oil and gas will serve the people of Guyana and help them to come out of poverty.
Norton said the International Energy Conference in Guyana must not only be a place for boasting, but must also come up with solutions on how it will address the question of poverty reduction and alleviation in Guyana. Let's tell you now that CARICOM leaders will meet in the Bahamas from tomorrow for their intersessional meeting, which will examine a number of critical issues, including health, security, and issues related to climate change. According to a statement from CARICOM, the need for continued vigilance against COVID-19 and the recent threat of the monkeypox are among the critical issues that will be discussed. Challenges to health system resilience, regional health security, climate change, and routine vaccinations will also form part of the discussions between the CARICOM heads of government. Assistant CARICOM Secretary General Alison Drayton explained that heads of government will also receive updates on the recent challenges experienced by the region regarding health system resilience, regional health security, as well as protecting the region's reputation as a relatively disease-free tourism destination. Ms. Drayton indicated that she expects robust discussions on the items on the agenda and for support for the proposed recommendations, which urges member states to remain vigilant, continue active surveillance, and promote the use of established prevention and control guidelines to curb the further spread of COVID-19 and other infectious diseases. The CARICOM Secretariat is hoping for an agreement to be reached on proactive health measures, particularly on returning to routine vaccinations to ensure a safer and healthier Caribbean.
The APNU invites you to a public meeting this Wednesday, the 15th of February from 6 p.m. at Last Entrance, Aubrey Barker Road, North Rumvelt. Come out and hear the APNU leaders address important issues. The main speaker will be Aubrey C. Norton, MP. All are invited this Wednesday, the 15th of February from 6 p.m. Last Entrance, Aubrey Barker Road, North Rumvelt. The APNU invites all. The struggle continues.
For people tired and they tired and they tired and they tired and they can't take it again. The youths them tired and they tired and they tired and they tired and they can't take it again. So we're moving forward.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, it's the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack up flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, it's the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Ansem Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Ansem Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Ansem Guyana Facebook page for more details.
With many Caribbean countries depending heavily on imported fuel, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, believes the region would do well if it bands its resources together and make use of the oil refinery in Trinidad and Tobago.
This refinery and its supporting infrastructure are available for restart, upgrade and use on reasonable terms to any interested refiner or crude supplier.
Dr. Rowley extended the invitation this morning as he spoke at the opening ceremony of the International Energy Conference and Expo at the Marriott Hotel. Alluding to the Inter-American Development Bank 2022 report on post-pandemic recovery and the Caribbean, Dr. Rowley said the region is expected to experience prolonged effects of external economic shocks this year, including high food and fuel prices. The impact, he said, is already being felt in some countries.
The majority of Caribbean countries rely on imports of petroleum products, which represent 87% of primary energy consumption. As a result, oil importing countries in the Caribbean have reported spending up to 15% of annual GDP on fuel imports. The heavy dependence on imported energy has negatively affected the economic performance of many Caribbean nations, contributing to instability in both fiscal and external accounts.
The Prime Minister said his country is no exception, explaining that while his country was importing most of its crude oil and creating refined products for its domestic needs and for the regional market, the model was carried on with significant loan support from the National Treasury.
By 2018, in the absence of an improved crude oil supply, the accumulated debt and projections for sustained losses resulted in a restructuring of the state-owned company, and this included the closure of the refinery, which in the absence of a new source of crude stands mothballed at Pointe-à-Pierre in Trinidad.
According to the Prime Minister, as a net importer of energy, the Caribbean has been turning increasingly to renewable energy with the aim of bringing together its energy bill.
The region is blessed with an abundance of high potential renewable energy resources. It is estimated that the Caribbean holds approximately 3,000 megawatts of potential solar power, 800 megawatts of potential wind energy, and over 3,000 megawatts of potential geothermal energy. With the appropriate investment, the region can substantially reduce its dependence on imported refined energy products by harnessing the natural power generated by solar, wind, geothermal, and hydroelectric sources.
Rowley also acknowledged that the move to completely substitute hydrocarbon and its products is a long way off. He said in the face of the current economic environment, it would at least be best to build a regional energy supplies, thereby enhancing the region's security and mitigating geopolitical risks.
Harnessing locally available or regional sources also reduces transmission costs and increases control over setting of policy. To address energy security and resource shortage concerns, we need to have an energy mix that capitalizes on domestically and regionally available and economically viable sources. In this regard, crude oil, which was once seen as being at the margins of the region, has become a focal point with major discoveries in Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana, Belize, and Trinidad and Tobago. Beyond this, there's a huge interest by major oil and gas companies prospecting off the coasts of Barbados, Grenada, Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic. Exploration success by new Caribbean entrants and the petroleum industry can be a game changer for the Caribbean region.
Prime Minister Rowley said Trinidad and Tobago provides a viable option to countries that want to optimize the monetization of their hydrocarbon resources without incurring substantial capital expenditure. Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago signed a memorandum of understanding to advance relations and development in the oil and gas sector. In the world of business right now, the parent company for Courts and Ashley Furniture Stores in Guyana, Unicomer, is taking on a major investment project along the east bank of the Marara Corridor that will see the construction of a corporate complex and a logistics park. In an announcement today, Unicomer said the investment will total 25 billion Guyana dollars and will form part of the Red Start Investments Company. Both projects are expected to break ground in May, with a time frame of 2 years for completion. According to the company, Unicomer, the commercial complex along the riverbank will house up to 30 retail spaces, with some 400 parking spaces. The complex will be anchored by a Courts Megastore and an Ashley Home Store, together occupying 50,000 square feet of retail space. Those stores will be complemented by an array of retail stores, a gym, as well as restaurants and eateries from local and international brands. Discussions are also ongoing with top international hotel brands to be included in the complex. The 15 billion Guyana dollar logistics park will be constructed on 60 acres of land, which has already been acquired. The company said the introduction of the logistics park will streamline the retail giant's supply chain management process and allow for similar arrangements to be extended to other companies across the region. According to Unicomer, when completed, the logistics park will also contain Unicomer Guyana's brand new 250,000 square foot logistics and distribution center. Sub-Regional Managing Director for Unicomer Guyana and the Dutch Caribbean, Vincent Gordon, explained that the commercial project will be built in 3 phases, with phase 1 to include the erection of the Courts Megastore and Ashley Signature Stores. Phase 2 will see the build-out of the commercial park, and phase 3 will deliver the hotel and final parking structure. An investigation into the Sunday afternoon fire that gutted a Windsor Forest house and claimed the life of its owner has found that the fire was started by the fluctuation of the electricity supply to the home. In a statement, the Guyana Fire Service said that there was sparking at a breaker panel box in the house, which resulted in nearby combustible material being ignited. The fire claimed the life of 60-year-old Rajendra Mahabir. Persons in the area said there was voltage fluctuations moments before the fire was discovered. Within minutes, the 7th Street Windsor Forest house went up in flames. The 60-year-old homeowner got trapped in the burning building after he ran back inside to locate a grandson. He did not realize the grandson had already been removed from the house and was safe. Mahabir never made it out, and his charred remains were found among the debris of the fire. The same building also housed a small grocery shop and a church. The fire service said it responded to the emergency call with 4 fire tenders and attacked the fire from various angles. The fire service continues to encourage citizens to have fire extinguishers and fire alarms in their buildings.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly, our shelves are stocked and ready, hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Ansem Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Ansem Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Ansem Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor of the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight in Jamaica, the Andrew Holness administration has again made a commitment to introduce a long-awaited legislative measure dealing with unexplained wealth to fulfill a commitment made to the country 3 years ago. The Governor General in Jamaica, Sir Patrick Allen, made the announcement today that the government will take steps in the 2023-2024 parliamentary year to amend the Proceeds of Crime Act to include unexplained wealth. Nearly 3 years ago, the Prime Minister signed a memorandum of understanding with the opposition, private sector, and civil society to promulgate legislation for the confiscation of unexplained wealth. Since that time, there have been loud calls from civil society, especially for the administration to table in Parliament a bill that will address the unexplained wealth. The introduction of unexplained wealth orders, as agreed by the Crime Consensus Monitoring Oversight Committee, is a critical element in the fight against corruption, reports the Jamaica Gleaner. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will address the Caribbean community leaders during the 44th summit that gets underway in the Bahamas tomorrow. The Foreign Affairs Minister in the Bahamas, Fred Mitchell, said the Ukrainian leader will be addressing the regional leaders by video link on Friday from the Ukrainian capital. Back in February, CARICOM issued a statement strongly condemning the military attacks and invasion of Ukraine by Russia and called for the immediate and complete withdrawal of the military presence and cessation of any further actions that may intensify the current perilous situation in the country. The 50-member regional integration grouping called on all parties involved to urgently embark on intensified diplomatic dialogue to immediately de-escalate hostilities and work towards a sustainable peace. At a press conference, the foreign minister in the Bahamas said a solution to the instability in Haiti will also be a major agenda item at the 3-day conference. And finally tonight, international news. The sensors from a suspected Chinese spy balloon shot down over the US earlier this month have been recovered from the Atlantic Ocean. Search crews found significant debris from the site, including all of the priority sensor and electronic pieces identified. The FBI is examining the items which the U.S. said were used to spy on sensitive military sites. The U.S. has shot down 3 more objects since the first one was shot down on the 4th of February. U.S. officials have said the high-altitude balloon originated in China and was used for surveillance, but China said it was a weather monitoring airship that had blown astray. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.